Hello, everyone, and welcome back to session 2 of the Virtual Registered Apprenticeship Academy. For this session, we will do an introduction on apprenticeship programs, further introduction, and provide a little bit more of an overview of the key components that exist within them. Before we do that, I'd like to recap what we just discussed. So what we did was we went over the 5 key components of a Registered Apprenticeship Program, discussed the 7 delineating factors of a Registered Apprenticeship Program. We reviewed the standards of apprenticeship and what exists within the document specifically. And then we went over the roles and responsibilities of the Office of Apprenticeship and state apprenticeship agencies. So throughout today's session, we will cover what it means to become an apprentice, what are the benefits to employers and job seekers, the relationship between work-based learning and registered apprenticeships, industry-recognized credentials, and we'll briefly discuss other forms of apprenticeship programs, including youth apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs. Ahead of getting to that, we gave you some homework, so we want to go over those quiz questions. So what we want to do really quickly is go over what those questions were, and the answers will be provided after. So question 1, what steps should an individual take when creating an apprenticeship program? List 5 of the 7 delineating factors of Registered Apprenticeship Program. And what is the role of the Office of Apprenticeship and state apprenticeship agencies? So as you can see, the answers are listed here. What steps should individual take when creating an apprenticeship program? Individuals need to select an occupation, identify sponsors and partners, connect with experts through the Office of Apprenticeship or state apprenticeship agencies, develop core components, which are the standards of apprenticeship and that must contain the 7 delineating factors, and then you can launch and manage the apprenticeship program. Question 2 was to list 5 out of the 7 delineating factors of Registered Apprenticeship Program. So the total 7, all you needed was 5, were industry-led partnerships, paid job experiences, on-the-job learning and mentoring, supplemental education, diversity, quality and safety, and recognized credentials. And then for this third question, what is the role of the Office of Apprenticeship and state apprenticeship agencies? There were 2 answers you probably could have had here, and they are depending on the state. The Office of Apprenticeship or state apprenticeship agencies are the sanctioning body for registered apprenticeship programs. They also provide technical assistance and consultation services to individuals who are creating registered apprenticeship programs. So becoming an apprentice. What does it mean to become an apprentice, and what are some of the requirements and entry points to becoming one? So whether a job seeker, employer, or program sponsor, it's important to ask these questions. The education requirements, generally speaking, are that individuals require a high school diploma. For individuals who did not complete high school, there are other options such as completing a GED or test of general education development, or completing a HiSET test, which stands for high school equivalency diploma. For these tests, it depends on the state. There are many states that allow individuals to complete either test. However, the GED is the more widely accepted test. So a few entry points. Individuals can enter through their high schools with the help of career counselors or other individuals who are connected to an apprenticeship program. Career and technical education centers tend to be great places for apprentices to build hands-on experiences, and they may contain other individuals who are connected to apprenticeship programs. American job seekers or American job centers, which some call the best kept secret, but we're here to change that, are among many other things. American job centers do many other things, but they mainly work with job seekers to find opportunities, which may include an apprenticeship opportunity. And then Apprenticeship USA is a website that contains a link that can help job seekers find apprenticeship programs near them. Or if they are planning to move, they can look at zip codes from other states and areas. So in case you haven't been sold yet on apprenticeship programs, we included a brief 2-minute video that will play right here.
Why apprenticeship? Are you thinking about pursuing a career in the skilled trades, but are still unsure if it's the right pathway for you? Here are 5 top reasons why it's great to be an apprentice. Apprentices don't have to sit at a desk all day. Apprentices get to be active and on their feet. They spend 80% of their time learning on the job from a mentor and 20% learning at school or a union training center. Apprentices work with the latest advanced technology and apply it in their day-to-day work. Apprentices look at their work at the end of the day and say, "I made that." Apprentices are innovative problem solvers. Apprentices are curious about the way things work. They like to apply what they have learned. They are innovative people who like to solve problems. When they learn at school during each level of their apprenticeship, they bring their knowledge back to the workplace and share it by helping everyone on their team learn new ways to do things. As apprentices learn more, they are given more responsibilities at work. Apprentices earn good pay. Apprentices earn wages while they are learning on the job and achieve their certification with little to no debt. Certified journeypersons who have finished their training may make $60,000 to $100,000 per year or more, depending on the trade. Apprentices contribute to sustainable communities. Cooks create using locally sourced food in their dishes. Carpenters, electricians, and plumbers implement LEED building construction practices. Automotive service technicians fix zero-emission vehicles. Apprentices rebuild their communities when natural disasters strike. The skills that apprentices bring to a community help it thrive. Apprentices advance in their careers. Once apprentices complete their training and become journeypersons, they can grow their careers through further education and training. They can own a business, become a supervisor, a teacher, a project manager, an engineer, or CEO. If this sounds like you, consider becoming an apprentice today. Go to Careers and Trades to find out more. A great career is waiting for you.
That was an excellent video that provides some insights into apprenticeship programs and provides advocates with great language and statistics to support apprenticeship programs. So next, we'll look at benefits to job seekers and benefits for employers. So when looking at benefits for job seekers, the first thing about apprenticeship programs is that they create learn and earn opportunities. Apprentices can begin collecting income early in their career and can continue to build upon a strong foundation. Benefit number 2 are that apprentices receive nationally recognized credentials. These are portable credentials that are recognized by multiple businesses across industries, and this can help them find new work if they have been laid off, have moved for familial obligations, or have faced other extenuating circumstances that have removed them from employment. Benefit number 3 is they can gain workplace skills through credentialing opportunities and through hands-on experience. Benefit number 4, there's lower debt burden compared to alternative measures. So as the costs of higher education continue to increase, the idea of earning income right out of high school with no debt is appealing to more young people across the country. And now more than ever, people are considering apprenticeship programs. Benefit number 5, there's a quick school to career transition. So tying into that lower debt piece, by not pursuing higher education, apprenticeship programs can take anywhere between 6 months to a few years. With that said, apprentices can come right out of high school and make a quick impact right away. Benefit number 6 is that apprentices tend to work in high demand career opportunities, which creates a lot of work opportunities for them. Apprenticeship USA and registered apprenticeship sponsors will use labor market information to promote training opportunities and connection to these high demand career options. And a 7th benefit, but certainly not the last benefit, is that apprentices work closely with mentors. And mentors can play an integral role in the career trajectory of workers, and this is a great benefit for job seekers to capitalize on. So we're going to take 30 seconds, and in the chat, if you can think of any other benefits to job seekers that I didn't mention, please add them now. Great, these are all excellent alternative benefits for job seekers. So next we're going to look at benefits to employers. So benefit number one is that apprentices and registered apprenticeship programs lead to improved productivity and profitability. As apprentices master skills required by certain occupations, they can help improve a business's bottom line. Benefit number two, there's reduced turnover. So as apprentices receive wraparound services, mentorship, wage progression, which is also required by registered apprenticeship programs, it increases the likelihood that registered apprentices will stay employed with their current employer, which will lead to less turnover. Benefit number three, the development of a diverse, highly skilled team and local workforce. So similar to the reasons that I mentioned previously, registered apprenticeship programs can result in support systems that lead to increased diverse work populations. Benefit number four, registered apprenticeship programs can show and display investment in the community. So registered apprenticeship programs can use braided funding, which is a fancy way of saying multiple funding streams from federal grants and other grants that bring money into the community. The improved production and additionally, the improved production and revenue from a business or company can lead to regional and local growth through more jobs and a stronger, more resilient community. Benefit number five, again, as I just mentioned, funding support from the government. So that money from the government can help supplement apprenticeship wages and other anticipated expenses associated with a registered apprenticeship program. Also, registered apprenticeship programs build a case for private donors and foundations to invest in businesses and communities. Benefit number six, regional partnerships and collaborations. So connection to regional partners who are actively working to strengthen local businesses, the workforce, and the economy. As a facilitator or sponsor of a registered apprenticeship program, you'll be connected with these agencies and be able to network and pull resources to create a larger impact. And a seventh benefit, and again, not the last benefit, integrating apprentices into work culture. So as apprentices learn systems, gain insights from mentors, they can become strong advocates for your business. And as they learn the ways that your business operate, again, that leads to reduced turnover. So with all these in mind, I'm going to give you all another 30 to 20 seconds. Are there any benefits for employers that I might have missed? If you can think of any, please add them in the chat. Excellent. These are all great added points of benefits for employers. So tying together the two previous slides, Northwest Michigan Works provides insights directly from job seekers and employers. So I'm going to play this video. It's about 6 minutes long, so you can hear it directly from the individuals who are working in apprenticeship programs.
I found out about the Registered Apprenticeship Program through my boss, Mike Lang. He thought that it would be a good fit for what we've already have for goals going on here. He was already, we were learning about winemaking and making sparkling wine, and I had already started chipping away at a few other classes online to kind of get a better sense of winemaking in the world, and so it was just a natural fit for us here at Mobby.
This region, although known for its wines, there isn't a pool to grab people from. I mean, there isn't an exhaustive list of winemakers per se in the area, but also our production is specific. Our production is specific to sparkling wine, so a lot of the skills that people in the wine industry have obtained before coming here, they apply, but we've got specialized needs.
Well, a lot of the instruction from Mike is just hands-on everyday work that we do here, from basic problem solving related to winemaking and anything on to conceptual things, trying to come up with new ideas as well. But then also I'm taking courses online that are kind of folded in here, where maybe I pick up something from my classwork and I can bring it to work, and we can discuss those ideas too.
It ideally will help improve quality. It will help us increase production. It will help us expand into new markets. So having someone skilled in the winemaker position on staff is going to become a real asset for us down the stretch.
We found that it's really hard to find the skilled workers. Just trying to replace a foreman recently, I found how long it really took to find somebody that was qualified. So we've taken this young man and put him into this program.
When I first started, like, those machines looked kind of scary, and I didn't want to like touch anything and mess anything up because I didn't know what did what. So I wouldn't even want to like change screens, to even change to a different screen to look at a different like menu, because I didn't know what that would have done. So it would have been a lot harder for me, because then I would have never thought about going to school for this kind of stuff either, without the apprenticeship being offered to me.
He is being trained firsthand by both our vice president and the general foreman. They each work with him on a daily basis, as well as the online classes. So he's having hands-on experience right from the foreman.
Now we have it set up on Mondays and Fridays. In the morning, I'll sit down in front of the computer and do a class. Then after that, I'll go out and the general foreman will either talk about, like, I'll ask him about like different stuff that I heard in the class, and like he'll tell me how it's done here, because not every injection molding company does the same stuff. So I'm trying to learn like how they're doing it, how we need to have it stuff done here.
His apprenticeship program is for a plastic injection machine mold setter. After the 2 years, he will be qualified to be a foreman here at MR Products, or really anywhere in the plastics business.
I've got an employee that I thought it fit, someone that's kind of starting out with limited knowledge of construction, but a deep interest to learn more and wants to make a career out of it, and I just thought it was a good fit for her. And obviously, too, it's a nice benefit for my employees, being able to provide them an extra benefit to little incentive for them to stick with me as a company and grow.
My boss actually found out about it and mentioned it to me, and I thought it sounded like a great idea, just because I can learn more, be a better employee, and take my knowledge up a step. When I first started, I knew basically nothing. I had a few weeks of mission trips I'd gone on, so I learned very basic stuff. Now I know how to do a lot of things. So we're building an addition with ICF forms, which I've never worked with before, but I can use them now. It's important because now I can continue my career while still earning a living and not having to take time out of my career to learn more. I can blend them in at the same time and get it all done at the same time.
I think everybody knows that nowadays it's been hard to find employees, especially in the skilled trades. So looking at the benefits of just training in-house, and your program helps us a lot there. Since we can't find the skilled forces we want, we've just pretty much come to the conclusion that we need to train our own crews from the ground up, and wanting them to learn even beyond our abilities, things that we don't always have the time to teach them on the job. They can learn in the classroom or on the computer. So we're happy with that program. It sounds great.
So so that video provided some great case examples of how organizations are using registered apprenticeships to help facilitate employee growth and find new employees. So now we're going to to examine the relationship between registered apprenticeship programs and work-based learning programs. So as we know, registered apprenticeship programs provide on-the-job learning and job-related classroom instruction. On-the-job learning is conducted under the supervision of mentors, and training results in an industry-recognized and portable credential. But what are some key components of work-based learning, and what does an effective work-based learning program look like? The term work-based learning can have many definitions, so it is important to know what types of work-based learning exist and how they can be incorporated into a registered apprenticeship program. The graphic to the right shows a path for work-based learning and activities associated with that, specifically for agricultural careers. And this graphic was provided by the Virginia Department of Education. So the first bullet that you see is job shadowing, where individuals can learn what a typical day of an occupation or job looks like. The second bullet, service learning, is not often thought of, but is a key component, and service learning can help future apprentices build skills through hands-on experiences. An externship, similar to an internship or job shadowing, is a little more involved than typical job shadowing, but provides an overview of a typical day per job within an industry. A school-based enterprise is a simulated business that schools can provide. So think of a local high school having students provide technology courses for older residents who didn't grow up with technology. Those students are A, learning how the technology works, and B, reinforcing those learning outcomes through teaching others. Mentorship is another component of work-based learning. It keeps popping up, but mentors play a big role in helping young individuals discover new careers. Internships, which are one of the more popular and well-known work-based learning opportunities, but completion of an internship can provide valuable work experience. Entrepreneurship, so the involvement of entrepreneurs can help facilitate work-based learning. Cooperative education, combining classroom-based education with practical work experience. Supervised job experience, clinical experience, youth registered apprenticeship, which we will discuss later on, and then of course, registered apprenticeship programs. So work-based learning utilizes work tasks to help workers or students gain meaningful experience through exposure to work-related tasks. And effective programs know how to utilize these tools to create stronger and more salient learning outcomes. Jobs for the Future, an organization that drives transformation of American workforce and education systems to achieve equitable outcomes through designing workforce ecosystems, scaling impact, influencing policy, and investing capital on behalf of workers, provides an excellent visual tool for work-based learning programs and the steps that they compose of. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see a box that says career exploration as a preparation tool for work-based learning. And you can see a few activities that are associated with career exploration, including career fairs and industry projects. On the right-hand side, you see specific work-based learning activities, such as career exposure, that includes job shadowing and company tours, career engagement, including internships and pre-apprenticeship programs. And these two components have a cyclical relationship that can eventually directly lead to career experience, including registered apprenticeship programs and on-the-job training. Jobs for the Future provided specific definitions for these types of work-based learning. So career experience can be defined as activities such as apprenticeship programs or on-the-job training programs where trainees get paying jobs in which they learn specialized skills that are useful in specific industries or occupations. Career engagement can be defined as internships, pre-apprenticeships, or other activities where participants gain employability skills and get a taste of fields they are interested in. Career exposure can be defined as introductory activities such as job shadowing, company tours, or informational interviews, where participants begin to get acquainted with companies or industries they previously knew little about. Career exploration activities, if it's not possible, which can be defined as if it's not possible to arrange an actual workplace learning program, career exploration activities such as simulations and student-run enterprises can help participants begin to understand what certain careers might be like. So as you can tell, work-based learning has a lot of components, and another component of work-based learning is credentials. So the U.S. Department of Labor defines a credential as a verification of an individual's qualification or competence issued by a third party with a relevant authority to issue such credentials. Credentials are issued by a third-party authority, and depending on how, that typically depends on how the Registered Apprenticeship Program is constructed. Third parties can be businesses, trade associations, or other industry groups. Credentials can also include licenses or legal permission to engage various types of work. So the landscape of credentials, certifications, degrees, and licenses can be confusing. But fortunately, the Association for Career and Technical Education created a graphic that maps out their differences. So we're going to go through this. As you can see, that credentials are awarded by education, or certificates are awarded by education institutions, and they result from a course of study that indicates education, and they can be completed over the course of 2 years. They require little to no maintenance, and a few examples of certificates include Safe Serve Food Handler, Green Manufacturing Specialist, or Certificate in Business Administration. A certification, not to be confused with a certificate, is awarded by a business, trade association, or industry, and it can result from assessment, and it indicates skill mastery. It can be completed over the course of various timetables. It is maintained by skill practice and reassessment, and examples of certifications are certified welders, certified logistics technicians, certified international information system security professional, and more. Degrees, which are awarded by education institutions, result from a course of study, which indicates a level of education, and they can be completed over the course of 2 or more years. Degrees require little to no maintenance, and examples of degrees are Bachelor's of Science, Master of Science, or Doctor of Engineering. And the last credential that we will cover today are licenses that are awarded by government agencies. They result from meeting typical requirements outlined by those government agencies. They indicate legal permission from the government agency. They can be completed across numerous timetables, and they're maintained by reapplication for those licenses and continuing education as landscapes evolve. Examples are registered nurses, cosmetologists, or master plumbers. So industry recognized credentials, well, let me backtrack. Now that we have differentiated general credentials that exist, we'll begin to focus back on industry recognized credentials. So industry recognized credentials are transferable verification of skills that are accepted by multiple employers. They include endorsements from locally, regionally, and nationally recognized trade associations that ease the transfer of credentials, hence the title industry recognized. And types of industry recognized credentials include occupational licenses, which are outlined by the National Occupational Licensing Database, certifications, and certificates. So what exactly do the types of industry recognized credentials entail? So as mentioned earlier, the National Conference of State Legislatures has a database with a helpful website that contains licensing information for various occupations based on an individual state of residency. Information outlined in the database includes a job name, education requirements, training hours required, whether or not the program requires an exam, the cost of the license, and much more. And again, these tend to be awarded by state government agencies and are often required by specific positions. The database from the National Conference of State Legislatures further outlines that the licenses within their database adhere to the following criteria. Or that licenses are required in 30 or more states. Licensure does not require more than a 4-year degree of education for the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics education designation, and that the occupation has a above 0% projected growth in employment over the next 10 years. The second type of industry recognized credentials are certifications, which are awarded through assessment and validation of skills through businesses, trade associations, or other industry groups, and they indicate mastery of knowledge. After attaining a certification, individuals often must meet ongoing requirements to maintain the certification, as mentioned earlier. And the third type of industry recognized credential are certificates, which indicate completion of relevant course material that is related to skills required by an occupation. Certificates can be tricky to distinguish between one that is industry recognized or not. They have generally not gone through the rigor that other industry recognized credentials have gone through, such as the occupational licenses and certifications. However, they are important to keep in mind as they do exist as a viable option for the industry recognized credential component of a registered apprenticeship program. So now that we've covered credentials and work-based learning, we are going to turn our attention towards pre-apprenticeship programs and youth apprenticeship programs. So pre-apprenticeship programs are designed to prepare individuals for registered apprenticeship programs. They generally target underrepresented or out-of-school populations, meaning they are generally targeted towards adults, but they could also be composed of adults looking to make career transitions. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, quality programs include approved curriculum based on industry standards and a registered apprenticeship partner, agreements with registered apprenticeship sponsors to allow direct entry into registered apprenticeship programs, recruitment from underrepresented populations, collaborative partners such as trade associations, other businesses, and institutions of education. They may or may not require a wage or stipend, although best practices dictate that pre-apprenticeship programs are best supported and apprentices within them are best supported by wages. Wraparound services and referrals to services, which can be a great incentive for potential apprentices, and hands-on training or volunteer opportunities that do not displace paid employees. Otherwise, individuals are essentially working for free, which is legal and unethical. So now looking at youth apprenticeship programs. So apprenticeship programs are for youths ages 16 to 24. You may be thinking that 24 is a little bit old to be a youth, but one nuanced bit about the workforce system is that generally speaking, for reporting purposes, youths are defined as individuals aged 16 to 24. Youth apprenticeship programs provide foundational knowledge for youths to choose from multiple pathways, including full-time employment, college, or a combination of the two. Youth apprenticeship programs can start engaging young individuals as early as middle school. They tend to be, youth apprenticeship programs tend to be competency-based, as in-school youth have less available time to attend to attend work. The program's related instruction tends to take place in high schools or partnering community colleges, making sure that the education is meeting the students at a place that is most feasible for them. And the last component is that all youth apprenticeship programs are paid experiences. So the last type of registered apprenticeship program that we are going to look at is industry recognized apprenticeship programs. A very important note about these are that they have recently been rescinded by the federal government. Nonetheless, we feel that they are important to cover as they were previously a part of the apprenticeship system. So established in 2017, industry recognized apprenticeship credentials and programs expand apprenticeship programs across the country by leveraging efforts from trade groups, corporations, nonprofits, educational institutions, unions, and joint labor management organizations. Also known as IRAPs, industry recognized apprenticeship programs, supplement registered apprenticeship programs, and are recognized and were recognized by entities known as standards recognition entities. And they generally focus on sectors outside of construction and your typical registered apprenticeship occupations. Getting close to the end here, we want to examine a few limitations of apprenticeship programs. So we don't live in a perfect world, and if you search for limitations of registered apprenticeship programs, you might find the following themes: low starting salary, completion times may vary, there's limited access to certain careers, apprentices receive limited recognition, and apprentices may need additional training. However, we encourage you not to get discouraged. This is why it's important to pay attention to best practices and industry developments to make sure that your registered apprenticeship programs are effective and efficient and overcoming these limitations and barriers. So when thinking about the low salary component, registered apprenticeship programs can combat this by using RIOA funding and other braided fundings to supplement wages of apprentices and make sure they are making competitive wages. Completion times may vary. This is often mentioned as a limitation. However, it can be viewed as a benefit of registered apprenticeship programs, as participants can complete the program at a time that works best for them, depending on what is going on in their lives. Limited access to certain careers. To combat this limitation, we recommend the development of career pathways, which create opportunity for upward mobility, which we will talk about in later presentations. Limited recognition, which generally refers to limited recognition in the workplace. However, if you are an employer, you can overcome this by creating a culture that celebrates the apprentices that you have brought on and into your organization. And the last limitation, that apprentices may need additional training. We find that individuals across all occupations need additional training. So this isn't a reason to get discouraged, as upskilling is a part of work and can help people improve their career trajectory. So to recap what we went over during session 2, registered apprenticeship programs provide unique benefits to both job seekers and employers. Registered apprenticeship programs incorporate similar benefits to other types of work-based learning. And industry-recognized credentials provide foundations for proof of learning for apprentices. What to expect next? So with my colleague, Vicki Thompson, she will go over a deep dive into registered apprenticeship program partnerships. She will highlight the various institutions and the support that each can provide. And she will help develop an understanding of resources and practices that exist to develop effective partnerships. But before we let you go, we have to give you your quiz questions. So question number 1, thinking back on the presentation today, Can you name 3 benefits of registered apprenticeship programs for employers? Question number 2, can you name 3 benefits of registered apprenticeship programs for job seekers? And number 4, can you name 4 types of work-based learning? So that's all that we have for you for presentation 2. Take some time to get up, stretch, move around a little bit. And next up, I believe we have the lunch and learn session. We'll see you all soon.